Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for today's tutorial because as I was scrolling through Instagram, I follow a lot of celebrity makeup artists, and I just feel like there's this kind of classic look that a lot of them do for photo shoots, and it just looks so gorgeous. It's more bronzy and a little bit more on the natural end, but it still looks so glam and looks so sculpted and just so photo ready. So I really wanted to take inspiration from some of those kinds of pictures and create a tutorial with you guys using all drugstore products so that you can achieve those kinds of celebrity makeup artist looks that you can wear on an everyday basis, but you can achieve them using really affordable products. So I'm really excited about this look. Also, I'm super excited to start a new kind of giveaway with you guys. It's going to be called the Hidden Phrase Giveaway. You guys know how much I love doing giveaways. I love to give back to you guys. You have all been so amazing, and I just always want to find ways to give back to you. So this one's going to be really unique, and here's how to enter. Throughout this video, there's going to be words that are placed in the left-hand corner. So as you watch the video, you're going to want to pay attention to the left-hand corner, and every time a word comes up, you'll want to take note of it, and by the end of the video, the words will create a phrase. And then you're going to want to take the phrase that you have decoded from the video and click on the link in the description box to enter to win. This time, I'm going to be giving away 4 $50 ULTA gift cards, so you guys can go shopping and you can buy some of the products that I'm going to show you in this video or whatever you want. So there are going to be 4 winners, and that's all you need to do to enter. So again, all the details for the giveaway will be in the description, but if you want to enter, be looking for the hidden phrase in the video, and then make sure that you write it down or keep it in mind, because that's going to be key in entering to win one of these $50 gift cards. So I'm really excited about that. I hope you guys enjoy this kind of fun, different giveaway. I kind of wanted to think of a fun opportunity for you guys to win something, and so I hope you guys enjoy that, and good luck. So with that being said, let's get right into this tutorial. I have my brows already done off camera. I used the CoverGirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil in the shade Honey Brown, and now I'm going to go into the complexion actually. I'm going to go ahead and use my current favorite primer from the drugstore. This is from Maybelline. It's the Master Prime Hydrate and Smooth. You guys know I really like this. It just does a really great job of hydrating and smoothing over the complexion, but it's not too much and it doesn't feel too heavy on the skin, which I really appreciate and really like. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply a light layer all over the skin. So since those celebrity looks that I'm referring to are always really bronzy, I'm going to go ahead and go into this L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. I usually use the shade light, but today I'm going to actually use the shade medium. I want to bring out a little bit more warmth in the complexion, and I feel like this is going to be a really great way to do that. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I really like this medium shade actually. I feel like even though I have fair skin, it still somehow works with my complexion. It doesn't make me look orange. It's a really nice undertone that just adds a little bit of a bronze tint to the skin. I'm actually going to take a little bit more and just kind of spread this all over the skin, and you'll see it kind of just adds a little bit of a warmth and glow to the face. I am going to be applying foundation, but it's kind of nice to start off with a more bronzy complexion underneath. I really like how that looks. I'm going to go into my current favorite drugstore foundation. I've just been using this a ton. It's the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. And I'm going to be taking a little bit of this, and I'm actually going to mix in a tiny bit of that Glotion as well, just so that we kind of keep with the glowy, bronzy complexion theme. I'm going to go ahead and dot this all over the complexion and then press it into the skin with my beauty sponge. And this is just to kind of even out the complexion. I want it to be more of a sheer, flawless coverage. So this way we can kind of focus on areas that might need a little bit more coverage and use concealer to cover that up versus adding more and more foundation as coverage. I just think it looks way more fresh and natural, and it's rare that you see a celebrity makeup artist, you know, cake on foundation. I just feel like usually the look with the skin is just really fresh and flawless. So I'm going to kind of keep those vibes in mind. So now I'm going to go into my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, and this one's in the shade 4. I'm going to use this over any blemishes that need a little coverage. So I'm just going to spot conceal. I'm going to also use this shade to cover any redness around the nose. And then I'm just going to take my beauty sponge and pat that into the skin. So I'm actually going over a couple of them with the shade 5 of that same concealer. I wish I almost would have used this on my blemishes because it just seems to blend into the skin a little bit more than before. So just make sure whatever concealer you're using on your blemishes really blends into your skin tone, and that will really help to further camouflage everything. So now I'm going to be going in with C3, and I'm going to be using this under the eye area. I'm also going to get in this inner corner here, and I'm going to blend out like one under eye at a time just to kind of make sure I have a little bit bit more control over how much product I'm putting on so I don't overdo it, because I really do want this to look like my skin but better. I'm putting what's left of the concealer on my eyelid to kind of cancel out any veins there. This concealer formula is really, really great. I love how buildable it is. I'm gonna put that same concealer down the center of the face and blend that out with the same sponge. So next I'm gonna go into my NYX HD finishing powder. This one's in the shade Banana, and this powder is so great for underneath the eyes. It just really brightens up the under eye area and sets the concealer beautifully. And I really want to make sure to be like photo ready and flawless, that the under eye area looks really bright and awake, and this product really helps to achieve that. I'm also going to apply that on the eyelid to set the concealer that we applied earlier. For the rest of the face, I'm going to use my Rimmel Stay Matte Transparent Powder, and I'm just going to pat this over the cheek area to set this down so that our bronzer later on blends nicely over top. Now I'm going to bronze up the skin using my L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It Bronzer, and for Instagram photos especially, I feel like the skin is super sculpted but in like a natural way, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful and a little more precise with where I apply the bronzer. So I'm just going to soft smile a little bit and go right underneath my cheekbones here, and I'm just kind of getting like a good guide. Like, don't worry, I'm going to blend that out in a second, but I kind of want to have like a good general direction with the sculpting of the cheekbones, if that makes sense. So I'm just kind of doing like a guide first, and then we'll make sure that it's nice and seamless and blended in. I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit around the forehead, and then also around the jawline, and then some down the neck. So now I'm just going to go back into my Rimmel powder with that same brush we were using earlier and just really lightly buff over where we just applied the bronzer. And that way it keeps that structure, but it's softened a little bit so it doesn't look like you've got stripes going on. I'm also going to take a little bit of that bronzer and just sculpt the sides of my nose as well as underneath. And I'm going to soften the lines on the nose with the same transparent powder, just really lightly buffing over everything. So I'm actually going to go into highlight next. I'm going to use the Maybelline Master Chrome Molten Gold highlight, and I feel like with celebrity makeup artists there's a lot more precision with the highlight as well, so I'm going to make sure that I'm pretty precise. Well, actually I'm going to layer a couple highlights, so I'm going to use this one first just as a kind of light wash over the general area of where I'm applying highlight, so all the way around the brow here, and just kind of like dusting it down to the front of the cheeks, just so we kind of get like a really nice light base layer of highlight. I'm also going to take that brush and just go down the center of the nose, and I'm being a little bit more cautious to make sure that it's pretty dead on in the center. Cupid's bow, and then a little bit right above the brows. Okay, and now I'm going to take a more precise eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to go into my Essence Pure Nude highlight, and this is a little bit of a lighter highlighter than the Maybelline one, and with this I'm just going to kind of go in an even more precise area on my face, so like kind of more around the center of where we applied the Maybelline highlight. I do still want to make sure it's blended out, but like up on the highest points of the cheekbones and a little bit more of a precise spot. Maybe blend them together a little bit with my translucent powder brush. I do want it to flow nicely into one another. I'm just going to kind of go over where we applied the highlight everywhere on the face and just be extra precise with it. So right in between the eyes and then kind of down the center of the nose. So now that we've got the really nice glow going on, I'm going to go over everything with some blush. I'm going to use the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso, and I'm just going to apply this to the apples of the cheeks and blend it back. This has a beautiful radiant finish to it, so it's just going to again give us that gorgeous glowy flawless complexion. And then I'm just going to take that same translucent powder brush and just lightly kind of blend everything together on the cheeks. So now I'm going to move to the eyes. I know it's kind of a different order than what I normally do, but I kind of like to just perfect the complexion first, and then I know kind of how much I want on the eyes and lips after that. I'm going to be using the Maybelline The Nudes eyeshadow palette. This is just a really great everyday palette, and I want to use a lot of browns, and this is a great palette for that. So I'm going to hop into this taupey matte shade right here, and I'm going to start buffing this in the crease, just kind of moving back and forth in windshield wiper motions. And then when there's a little bit less product on the brush, I'm kind of going above that and blending it up toward the brow. I'm not going to touch the brow. I want a little bit of space between the shadow and the actual brow there, but I do want to blend it out a little bit higher. I'm just going to do the same thing on this eye, and then I'm going to take that exact same shade and run it underneath the lower lash line and connect it to the shadows up here. And then I'm going to take a clean brush and just dust over everything to make sure it's really nice and blended out. Next, I'm going to go into this bronzy shade right here, and I'm going to apply it close to the lash line with my finger. Just kind of want to get a nice base of color all over the lid. Then I'm going to take a brush and buff it up to the crease. And I'm just going to keep layering this until it's the intensity that I want, just alternating between patting the pigment on the lid and buffing it out with a brush. And then I'm going to take some on a precise definer brush, and I'm just going to buff this along the lower lash line as well to kind of mimic the same shades we have going on the top lid. Now I'm actually going to go back into my Maybelline Master Chrome highlight, and on a more flat brush, I'm just going to pat this in the center of the eyelid. And this is going to add a little bit more dimension to the eyes. I'm going to blend it out with my finger a little bit and just kind of layer again. But like when you close your eyes, it's going to make your eyelid look more 3D. I just really like the effect, so I'm going to add that in the center. And then it also kind of ties in the highlight on the cheeks as well with the same tones. It makes everything look more cohesive. I'm going to take a tiny bit in the center of the lower lash line as well, just to kind of tie that together. And we can't forget the inner corner, so I'm just going to apply some of that same highlight into the inner corner of the eye. And this really pretty gold shade in the inner corner is just going to kind of add to that whole bronzy kind of look. And with what's left on the brush, I'm going to go right underneath the brow bone. So now I'm going to go into my lash primer, and I really want to focus on the lashes for this look. So I'm going to add this primer to kind of help make my lashes look even more voluminous. And I apply this to both the top and bottom lashes. And then I'm going to layer the mascara on top of that. This is the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara. And I'm going to do about 2, maybe 3 coats, but I'm going to start with 2 and see how that goes. So I did 2 coats on the top and bottom lashes. I love applying mascara. I feel like it really just starts to complete the look. So for lips today, I'm actually going to be using 3 products. You could do any sort of lip color with this eye look since it's so neutral. Mine's going to be a little bit of a deep nude. So I'm going to start off with the Flower Beauty Petal Pout Lip Liner in the shade Toffee. And for any sort of like Instagram or celebrity makeup look, I feel like the lips are overlined. So I like to kind of keep my natural lip shape in mind. Make sure the lip liner comes up at the real corners of your mouth. But then right here and right here is where you can kind of overline them a little bit to make them look a little bit more plump. So I just like to slowly bring the lip liner down in that area. But again, making sure it connects in the real corners of my mouth. And then same thing on the top lip. And I also like to kind of fill in the outer portions of the lip with the darkest color, because that's just going to help make a more 3D looking pout, which is going to photograph really well. So I'm just overlining mainly in this area and this area, and then kind of bringing it all back to the normal corners of my mouth. And I'm going to layer a few things. So now that I have the lip liner on, I'm going to go into my NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade London. I used this in a recent tutorial. I think it might have actually been my last tutorial, and I forgot how much I loved it. So I'm going to apply this over top, and I chose this shade because it's a little bit lighter than the lip liner, but it's still a little deeper than what I'm going to use next, and that's going to really help create that 3D lip look. And then I'm going to take something even lighter. This is the CoverGirl Melting Pout Matte Liquid Lipstick. Basically, you can just use 3 of any colors as long as they kind of have a gradient to them. And with this color, I'm going to add this just to the center of the lips and just pat it in. And this kind of creates that gorgeous Instagram matte lip look, and it makes your lips look so much more plump than they really are. And then I like to go back into the lip liner and just kind of go over the outline a little bit again and in the very corners. Now I'm just setting the brows with my Glossier Boy Brow. I still have yet to go to the drugstore and pick up a clear brow gel. I know there were several that you guys suggested, so I took note and I'm going to go try them. So just use whatever brow gel you have if you like using brow gel. I just think it helps kind of soften the look, and also for me helps my brows stay in place. So now is where I kind of assess the face, and I'm adding a little bit more bronzer right under the cheekbones because I really do like that sculpted look for photos, and I feel like on Instagram everybody is usually pretty contoured, but for celebrity looks, like I feel like they're sculpted but it's blended. So I'm just trying to kind of add a tiny bit more definition, really lightly, but again, not too much, just a little something extra. I'm also really wanting to make sure that the under eye area is nice and bright, so I'm being careful to not go over my eyeshadows, but I'm just adding a little bit more of my NYX HD powder right under the eye area, and that's just going to bring that brightness to the center of the face. And I want a little bit more on my chin, maybe also some right in the center of the forehead. I'm actually taking some of that banana powder again, and I'm going right underneath the cheekbones, just to kind of really add even more definition to those cheekbones, make them look extra Instagrammy. Just kind of sculpt them out really lightly. And now I'm gonna go ahead and set the entire look. You wanna make sure that everything looks how you want it before you lock it down. I'm gonna go into the CoverGirl Look Lockup All Day Setting Mist. I'm gonna give it a nice shake. Spritz it all over. I want the sides of my face to be a little bit more set than like the center. So that way we have a nice dewy glow on the sides of the face, but the center stays a little bit more matte. So that is it, you guys. That completes my flawless drugstore makeup look. I do feel like this is a perfect everyday kind of look, but it's also really good for if you're gonna take photos and you wanna look a little bit more done up, but in a natural way. I feel like this is a great makeup look for that, and it can be achieved with all affordable products. So I hope you guys are inspired by this look. I hope you love it as much as I do. I really feel like there's so many celebrity makeup artists that do similar looks to this, where it's just so fresh and natural but bronzy and just so universally flattering. Again, if you guys want to enter to win one of the 4 $50 Ulta gift cards, go ahead and click on the link in the description box and you can see how to enter. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you so much. Good luck to anybody who enters to win the gift cards, and I will see you all in my next video. Love you. Bye!